Hello, work-life warriors. How are you? How you been? What you been doing? Did you play today? How are you feeling today? As you can see, I'm feeling playful. Please share with me in the chat. How are you feeling today? Where are you located? I'm located in Raleigh. It is kind of beautiful here today, but not really. We're still having a pollen situation. This is around the time where pollen is everywhere, so it's beautiful, but it could be more beautiful site-wise. So, how are you feeling today and where are you located? Please share with me in the chat. How are you feeling? Where you located? Did you play today? If you have a plan for play later on, what are you going to do? We know you working. Y'all love to work. I just want to know, are you playing as hard as you work? That is so very important. It's actually more important than you think. So, are you playing? Are you making a plan to play? I'm just saying. I'm going to give it about one more minute and then we'll go ahead and get started. How are you doing? How is your work week so far? I want to go ahead and get started in the next 30 seconds. How are you doing? All right, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, Work Life Warriors. How are you? I am Ebony Davenport, and I teach stress management. I show people how to utilize fun management solutions to decrease stress and counter burnout so that we're happier and healthier and well balanced. I use over 75 tips, tools, tricks, and techniques to manage stress. But today we are going to talk about play. Yes, play. I did spend the intro talking about play, but we're going to talk about play. So, what is stress? Before we get into play, what is stress? Stress is feeling out of control instead of in the peace. And many of us feel out of control instead of in the peace throughout the day, right? Why do we feel stressed out instead of in the peace, or out of control instead of in the peace? And I would say we feel out of control because we are thinking about the past or the future, or we do not have enough resources to solve the problems in our present moment, right? So, stress is important because it is the lack of information that is causing us stress, right? So, we think that it is whatever is happening is very serious or is serious instead of playful, right? But if you can just try to look at a very serious situation with a playful lens, it actually opens up so many other solutions that you never even thought about before, right? It's in the stress of trying to figure out what to do and the severity of the situation and approaching it with the lens of uh severity, basically, instead of playfulness, is one of the reasons we keep coming up with the same answers and the problems never get solved. What we realize is some of the greatest creations ever brought to this world were created through people playing, right? They created new ideas, they innovated, they took things that didn't belong together and they put them together. They broke our mindsets on what could be possible, on what our futures would look like. And they were playing, they weren't working. They had a very, very curious mind and they worked towards solving the problem, which offered many innovation solutions that they never would have even thought about had they just been working alone, right? So, play is something that we must do. If we are a hard worker, we must play harder than we work. The enemy of working hard is stress, so playing hard is not an option. Our society tends to dismiss play for adults. Play is perceived as unproductive, petty, or even a guilty pleasure. The notion is that once we reach adulthood, it's time to get serious, and between professional and personal responsibilities, there's no time to play. The only kind of play we honor is competitive play, right? But James Missioner said the master in the art of living makes no little distinction between his work and his play, his labor and his leisure, his mind and his body, his information and his reactions, his love and his religion. He hardly knows which is which. He simply pursues his vision of excellence at whatever he does, leaving others to decide whether he is working or playing. To him, he's always doing both. And so that's why I'm saying we need to go or figure out a way to add play into every element of in our lives, right? Play is not a subset of our life or an aspect of our life. It is the thread of our lives. So it is something that we can add to in anything that we want to do and anything that we find challenging, and anything that we don't want to do, we feel obligated to do. We can always change the lens in which we see that thing through play. Play is a very primal activity. It is natural and it starts in the womb. It is preconscious and preverbal, and it arises out of an ancient biological structure that existed before our consciousness or our ability to speak. Play seems to be so important to our development and our survival that the impulse to play has become a biological drive. Like our desire for food, sleep, or sex, the impulse to play is internally generated. And that's by Stuart Brown. Right? So it is natural for us to play. I know that we say that after you reach a certain age, you're supposed to adult, but human beings are neotenous, which means forever juvenile, which means that we're built to benefit from play at any age. All of our drives from food, sleep, sex, and play obviously are not created in equally. The stronger drives are for food and sleep, and when we are in peril, play obviously disappears. But studies show that if we are well fed, safe, and rested, all mammals will play spontaneously. And humans, play can happen without a conscious decision that I'm going to play. Like digestion and sleep, play in its most basic form proceeds without a complex intellectual framework. So it's spontaneous. How many times out of nowhere you just get the urge to do something silly, say something silly, make someone laugh? Play is just something that threads through every aspect of our life. It's kind of like the stick that stirs life. Humans are designed to be lifelong players and to benefit from play at any age. The human animal is shaped by evolution to be the most flexible of all animals. As we play, we continue to change and adapt into old age. We don't continue to change and adapt into old age. Understanding why animals stop playing into adulthood and why humans don't help us further understand the role play has in adult life. We don't give up play as adults. We shift to more acceptable forms like social play. Many of us don't even know why friendship and belonging is so important. It provides an indirect outlet for play in any setting. As adults, celebratory and rituals provide an official excuse to play. So most forms of acceptable play for adults reinforces play patterns that maintain social control. But play is apparently purposeless. It's done for its own sake. It's voluntary, it's inherent attractive. It is freedom from time. It diminished consciousness of self. It is improvisational potential, and it's a continuation to keep going, right? You desire to keep going. So play is something that is done for its own sake. So if it is to benefit others, it's not necessarily play, right? So when we play, there are six things or six steps in the process of play. We want to anticipate it. So we want to think about what will happen next. And we want to be surprised about what happened next, right? We also want to have a good feeling about what happened, and it makes us feel pleasurable and like it's a twist that we want. right? We want to understand, so we want to have new knowledge. We want to be able to synthesize concepts and ideas and incorporate them into the game. We want to gain mastery from playing the game, right? So not only do we want to play, we want to learn to play it well. And then, of course, we want some poise with it. We want grace, we want contentment, composure, a sense of balance in life, right? We want to anticipate the ride and then do it all over again. And in life, we know that there are common types of players, but we don't realize that anything could be a type of play. But the formal types of players are like the jokers, and we know about them. They do jokes and practical jokes. There are the kinesthetic people who are like the athletes. There are the explorers. We all know about the exploring type of play. Most of us think about play in forms of competition, and we think about that competition in almost every aspect of our lives, right? So we think that that's playing, but it has to be done for its own sake. The director, so we don't think about people who plan and organize and execute are playing. Collectors, we like to make fun of people who like to collect, but really they are staying true to themselves. They are playing. The artist or creative, which we all are in some capacity. We just like to make things, whether that's, a little drawing or something at work. We just really get a kick out of being an artist or creator. And of course, the storyteller, which all of us participate in this type of play in one form or another. But there are great storytellers, and there are people who, can barely tell a story, but we all participate in storytelling. So the types of play that we forget about are like body and movement play, and we do this in the womb naturally, right? We wiggle, we climb, we run. As we age, we do all of these things. We crawl, we just learn how to move our body in the most playful ways. And it's so cute to watch a little kid discover that they can do certain things. About 10 years ago, when my brother was about like 4 or 5, he's my younger cousin, but his older cousin showed him how to walk backwards, and he was just so thrilled with that. It tickled him. He went around and told everybody that his cousin told him how to walk backwards. He walked backwards everywhere, and he just never considered it before. And it was just so cute to see him use his body that way and be so excited about it. So the next form of play is object play, which most of the time this is what a type of play that we use a lot, right? So most play has one or two or more objects in it, right? Whether it's a game, like basketball or board game, or a game with other people, most of the time there is some sort of object involved. Now, imagination play. Now, many of us as adults stopped doing this type of play. Once we graduated from college, went out into the working world, we stopped imagining. We stopped using our imagination. We stopped participating in our internal world, right? We stopped thinking about the things that will bring us joys. We stopped dreaming in general. But our imagination is the key to anything in life. And before we can attract it in physical reality, we have to see it in our imagination. Anything in this world that exists now started from our imagination. So, social play, this is the play that we mostly do. We are very social. Humans are social. So, we participate in social play all of the time. Work is a form of social play. Friendship and belonging is one that we most definitely partake in as far as social play, and also celebratory and ritual play. So we have things like Easter and Christmas and Valentine's Day, and all of that is a part of play. And rough and tumble play, we see children do this all the time, but as we age, we stop rough and tumble play. We don't play fight anymore. But it is something that is so natural to us to help us understand our bodies in the world around us, right? So we work extremely hard in life, but we rarely play. We don't make time for play because we're taught that it isn't biologically important, when in fact, play is imperative for survival because humans are neotenous, which I say forever juvenile. Remembering what play is all about and making it a part of our daily lives are probably the most important factors in becoming fulfilled human beings. The ability to play is not only crucial to being happy, but also to sustaining social relationships and being a creative, innovative person. Consider what the world would be like without play. I don't know about you, but that's hard for me to do. Play can save your life. Life without play is a grinding, mechanical existence organized around doing things necessary for survival. Play is the stick that stirs the drink. There's a kind of magic in play. Play helps us to express our own core truth. It helps us to become free of constraints and function in flow. We are drawn to fun, laughter, and play automatically because it's our true essence, our true nature, our birthright. There are great benefits to play, including increased speed, accuracy, efficiency, creativity, innovation, cooperation, and the ability to become smarter and to adapt to the changing world. Through daily play, our brain keeps developing, adapting, and finding new ways to enjoy life. Play helps us learn more about the world than genes ever alone can teach us. To adapt in the world, we have to continue to play, or else we do like George Bernard Shaw say, we don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. Playing is a state of mind rather than an activity. It is absorbing, apparently purposeless activity that provides enjoyment and a suspension of self-consciousness and a sense of time. It is also self-motivating and makes us want to do it again. Play is fun and can trigger the release of endorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals that promotes an overall sense of well-being. Once people understand that the benefits of play can bring a sense of excitement and joy and wonder and adventure back to their lives, they can make work an extension of their play life and engage fully with the world. If we let the play drive, extend, or express itself way into adulthood, as we're built to do, we find opportunities to play anywhere, right? Everywhere. We make everything an opportunity to play. If we stop playing, we share the fate of all animals that grow out of play. Our behavior becomes fixed, and we are not interested in new and different things. We find few opportunities to take pleasure in the world around us. Don't succumb to the child or adult duality. In America, a strong work ethic is valued, but over two-thirds of the population is unhappy. Sorry. Nations with less are happier. Look around today. We can see many examples of miserable adults who don't play. Play is the cure for misery. Imagine what the world would look like if everyone played daily. So get out there and play. Get out there and make sure that you play. It's your responsibility to play. Most of all of the goods that we love in life came from play, right? Music is play, art is play, social is play. So many things are play and we don't even realize it, right? So get out of our old habits, what we've been taught, the things that don't benefit us, and go out there and play. Find a way to incorporate play into every aspect of your life. You will be glad that you did. I am around if you are looking for an opportunity to identify your stressors, put in a plan, and have someone help support you. I offer stress management consulting. So please check out my website for that or my social medias. If you are looking for a group experience every third Saturday of the month, we have a stress management fun shop. So check out my website or my social medias for that. I am here almost every day on the intranet, and you can always, on the interstreets, you can always send me a message or email me or go to my website and send me some sort of request, and we could talk about ways to incorporate to incorporate play for stress, or any of the 75 tips, tools, tricks, or techniques that I use to manage stress. So, as always, go out of your way to play. Play today, make a plan to play. It is in your best interest to do so. You will be happy that you did. It is your responsibility to increase the overall quality of your life. And I will see you soon, work life warriors. Have a great day. Get out there and play.